Hey guys, and welcome back to Ghost Trick. What the fuck just happened?
The very definition of a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. Like, we were this close to just all of us dying with no chance of, like, even surviving, because obviously well over 4 minutes had passed at that point, and then a claw comes out of nowhere and fucking scoops Lynn and Camilla up like a prize at some really gaudy Japanese amusement park.
It's like the claw machine from Planet Pizza.
There you go. I've always wanted to go to, like, a pizza restaurant, thank you, like one of those. Apparently one existed at Disneyland at one point in time, but, oh, it's actually moving. It's like a Bionicle or something.
Bring back Bionicles.
Oh my god. It's actually going there. Gee, I wonder who this could be. Where did he get the shades from?
From the style department, dude. I love that Ghost Trick is now turning into Return to Oz. Fuck yes.
Oh, here come the Wheelers, goddamn. Like, having to escape a sinking submarine was one thing. Just imagine the Wheelers scaling the walls to get you. And, oh yeah, he's not just talking to regular Sissel, he's talking to us right now. Oh yes, he knew all along.
I feel like the only people who didn't know about this whole plot were Camilla, Lynn, and us. But apparently everyone else knew.
Well, that was a thing, and then they went and took my my body. So, I'm stuck here now. Oopsie doodle.
You kind of reach the point where it's just like, I've got all this anger building up inside of me, and I wanted to let it out.
Do you ever just get so angry that you possess an entire pile of trash?
Oh.
Well, angry, but then kind of your one goal is kind of ripped away from you because you're just like, wait a minute, I've just been double-crossed. Shit. What have I got left? Oh. And then you end up possessing a pile of trash.
Huh. Our Sissel can't hold on to that old image of himself anymore. This really threw me for a loop when I first played the game, because she spent so long getting attached to that character, like, model, for lack of a better word, and then you just become a will-o'-the-wisp.
And the thing is that now neither is using that model, because now the OG Ghost is in the trash, and the playable character is with the Wisp, so yeah. That's some deep poetry there. The man in front of me is not me. Oh no, wait, that's just a mirror. I guess it is.
This is the chapter where we learn a lot of stuff. As you would expect, it is the penultimate chapter of the game. But sometimes you have to lose yourself to truly find yourself. And also, you finally know what that image, at least if you're watching this game for the first time, is in the bottom right hand corner of the video at all times. It was in fact Sissel's true form, quote unquote.
We took the spoiler and we just put it right in front of you, in plain sight.
Yeah, that's very Ghost Trick, as you'll see in the final chapter.
When even the Let's Plays of Ghost Trick are stylized, that's when you know that Ghost Trick just oozes style.
There you go. I think you were right, Richie. He has been double-crossed, and yeah, they've got the stone that was inside his body, the Temsic fragment. So, what would they need for the corpse that was basically keeping it fresh?
So they figured it all out and were just like, yeah, this guy is like a little bit too desperate, so let's just destroy him and then we have all this power to ourselves. Beautiful. Except obviously it's not, because it's monstrous. And I think that this is actually the only time that we have a conversation not in the Ghost Realm. This is actually happening in real time.
True. I mean, I'm sure they've happened before, but they were like just one-offs or one-lines. But no, this is with like the dialogue choices and shit.
What I always liked, in regards to like the visual design of the game, is we take red, Missile takes green, and the villain of the game, at least up until this point, takes blue, a colour traditionally reserved for heroes and whatnot, which is a pretty nice touch.
I think the thing that makes this work is that obviously the fact of you've got the red and blue, obviously villain and hero and stuff, but I think it is nice to have that slight shift because you don't necessarily see that as an issue from the start of the game. Like you see the Sissel's Ghost World as red, and it's not a problem. While in many cases you would see red and think, they're clearly the villain.
Yes.
In this instance, no, you don't. So it's nice that then for another Sissel who's not Sissel, to have blue, it's that whole, this is the complete opposite to Sissel, but then it's not making that distinction of hero and villain anymore.
No.
It's just making the distinction of this person is very different to me.
Yes, okay, that'll do it, Richie, thank you. You could have said that all in one sentence, but I appreciate your verbosity. It makes you who you are. I know that's not a word. Before you say anything, it's fine. Yes, people who die in the presence of Temsic radiation gain ghost tricks. That's how they get their powers, because if you remember, Missile also died in the presence of Temsic radiation when Blames ran him over in the park. He was right next to the Mother Rock, if you will.
That's why he can jump further than we can, because he was exposed to quite a great deal of Temsic radiation. And since, I'm going to continue to be a little bit verbose, I can say that verbosity is actually a word. Well done, Tom.
Hey, good job. Points to him.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the backhanded compliment of, wow, Tom actually did something smart, but you know what, I'll take it. I'm not entirely sure, actually, that Missile's ability to reach further was due to, like, closer bouts of radiation. It's just his particular trick, but, it's a good theory.
Well, yeah, there is that.
How cool would it have been if the way you died near Temsic radiation affected the kind of trick you got? Like, the reason that Missile can reach so much further is because he kind of flew after he got hit by the bike?
Yeah, that would certainly be an interesting mechanic.
Like, I know it doesn't apply to the other two. I just wish that, like, that had been the case. Like, maybe if Cecil had died, or, like, the playable character had died near electricity or near electrical appliances, which he kind of did in the dumpster, but like made it more obvious that your death correlates symbolically to your ghost trick.
Now we're getting very Kingdom Hearts here. My existence is a contradiction. I'm alive, but I have no heart. Thanks, Dream Drop Distance, for turning that one on his head. Even if it makes sense. Grumble, grumble.
Well, what's hilarious about that one is that the manga adaptation of the games had that in from pretty much the beginning.
Right from the beginning, it was great.
It's just like, surprisingly, it wasn't a surprise.
Surprise, the Kingdom Hearts game's gonna contradict itself because its writing isn't consistent. Spoilers.
Alright, so, yeah, all his vital functions stopped, but his body's time is frozen at the moment just before death. So, maybe that explains why an autopsy wasn't possible on him. He's not really alive, and he's not really dead.
Yeah, so basically, he is Clara Oswald circa the end of her time on Doctor Who.
Oh, good. What a time it was. I was glad to see her go, honestly.
Oh, no, you see, I liked Clara, and I liked Jenna Louise Coleman. I think they just... It was Moffat. Moffat ruined the potential of Clara by making her Amy Mark II, but better/worse.
Well, the thing with Moffat is, and I'll try to keep this as brief as possible, because this is an important chapter, everyone in that show is like a super genius or at least super duper savvy and whatnot, and the Doctor is the bumbling fool. And it kind of got annoying after a while because he doesn't really write characters to be natural and whatnot, unless they're Rory. Rory is Bay. He's great.
Yes, definitely. And Bill.
Yes, of course.
Bill was awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see her come back this Christmas. And the first Doctor with David Bradley, fuck yes. Also, the Doctor wankery was a bit much, making him into a god and whatnot, although that's something that Russell T started with season 1. Sorry, I forgot my numbering for a second there. There you go, this is what the Blushen government wanted to do. Wipe out everyone who had something to do with Temzik. Number 1, Jowd. He was there in the park the day that the meteorite fell. And, you know, he's an easy target. I mean, he was, you know... They could have just let the execution take its course, but no. Now there's going to be a dead body inside a capsule in the ocean.
How infuriating must that be for the Bluminati that they had a simple task: kill everyone involved in the situation. It's 2 detectives, an old dude, and anyone else who may have some slight information. Just eliminate them. We have nuclear submarines, we should be able to handle this. And instead, your entire scheme has been fucked up by a ghost who doesn't even know who he is. How I would be so pissed. I would just launch the nukes. Like, you know what? Fuck it. I was gonna do this nice and clean. No, let's just wipe the whole town off the map. Bye. I've been ruined by chicken.
You've seen too much, chicken girl.
Time to, you know, blow the coop.
Thank you. Nice. I like it.
But I'm tish.
And also, I like how they always keep going back to the fact of, if you weren't there that day, this wouldn't have been a problem. It's just like, well, she was a kid. I mean, to be fair, the big concern here is where the hell were her parents in this situation if she was like 10? Why is she in the park by herself?
Yeah.
Like, not even with friends, by herself? There's something quite concerning here, and I very much question Lynn's parents on their parenting techniques to allow their daughter to get taken hostage in a park by herself.
Also, this game has a lot of dark themes. Like, they try to be pretty realistic with, like, you know, death happens, people make mistakes, blah blah blah. Well, in that case, you mean to tell me that in this world of fully fleshed out people, no one was murdered in the park for 10 years? Not one homeless person? No one? Okay.
That seems to be the explanation for it, which is, it's strange, but then to be fair, I think you have to die 100% within the region of the Temzik radiation.
Yes, you do.
So, if you were outside of that and died, then you wouldn't have been affected, and therefore potentially people did die in the park, just not in that particular area. But that said, equally, that's unlikely that nobody would have died in that very specific area, because, like, seriously, that's quite an easy place, you know, to hide a body, you would have thought.
Mm-hmm. He did manipulate Lynn. The first shot missed the mark, but as we saw before, the second one, its aim was true.
So Lynn didn't murder us of her own volition, so she wants you to think. But yeah, manipulated. There you go. Like we said, we've seen this scene countless times over the course of the game, given new context throughout the game, and now we finally know that one tried and true Japanese trope, the truth.
Well, that said, we still don't necessarily know all of the truth. We know that Lynn was possessed by another not Sissel here. We know that he couldn't fully control her the first time, and that's why the first shot missed him. but they managed to get control and make her fully shoot him. But that still doesn't answer the question of who we are, because we know that we died there that night, we know that we died around that moment, so that is the one piece that is still missing.
Well, that's what you get for making your body your most prized possession. Really, it's the friends that you made along the way that you should treasure the most.
It's the real One Piece.
Also, he doesn't have any friends. He's just a lonely ghoul drifting towards the bottom of the sea.
Well, isn't he now a golem?
Technically?
I mean, not in the purest Judean sense, but yeah, I mean, he's an automaton now.
Oh, I love the animation of the gears on his personage.
This is the part of the game where we find out that he's actually more of a human than Lin. Oh no, wait, this isn't a Yoko Taro game, never mind.
Oh, I just want to... If it wasn't such a spoiler, I'd take this, put it on Twitter, and subtitle it, Detroit, Become Human.
Oh no.
Oh, Jesus. David Cage wants to deal with domestic abuse. I'm sure that will be handled with all the grace and elegance of a person who had one guy fuck a corpse in the first game.
Yeah, and also, you know, he had that wonderful interview in which someone asked him, so why do you want to look at these issues in your work? And David Cage was so offended and was just like, would you ask that question of a film director or a writer?
Yes.
Yes, we would, because it's something that people tend to want to know when you're dealing with that sort of issue, because they want to know, are you dealing with it from a place of personal knowledge? Either you have been a victim of domestic abuse or you have been close to it, or are you just pulling it out of your ass and just making it up as you go along, because that really does tend to colour people's perceptions of the results.
Yeah, David Cage is that one kid who just wants to see the world burn because it might be cool. He doesn't want to learn anything from it. He's not trying to say anything in particular. He's just trying to make, like, shit happen, really. Which, honestly, I never viewed him as, like, a great writer in any sense of the word, but the most recent stuff coming out of his fat arse has really diminished my opinion of him a bit. So look out for the Detroit Become Human playthrough next year sometime. That's going to be fun times.
I still find it absolutely hilarious that the composer for the Time Cop video game went on to make a game about domestic abuse.
Christ.
Just go back to making shitty synth 80s rock soundtracks, dude. Just stop writing, please.
Sissel has a point here. Why would they do such a thing? What were they trying to accomplish by detaching the room and sending it flying off? Your body, that is. Unless they were scared of you. I mean, that is technically your capsule.
Yeah, but the thing is that obviously another Sissel can possess living things and also seemingly create a living thing out of inanimate objects. But obviously you trap the body down here, well, not the body, the spirit down here. It can't get out, and it's just going to remain here for all eternity. So the last person who would know about the Thamesit fragment would be no more, and they could use its powers for their own ends without any possibility of anyone figuring out the truth. So ultimately, yeah, that's why they decided to trap him down here. But thankfully, you know, while Camilla and Lynn and another Sissel are gonna remain here and still die, there's a chance that, you know, we can try to solve this in some way. We've just got to try and save Jowd, and to do that we can use a torpedo.
Oh, yes indeed. This is the darkest timeline. This is the one that never gets solved, only overwritten.
If you've played Virtue's Last Reward or Zero Time Dilemma, this is one of the dead ends. You know, this is just one of the timelines where everyone's dead, but you still retain the information and you just hop into a new timeline and see if that new information can help you progress. Only, like, in those games there's about 20 of them, and in this game there's only just this one.
Alright, let's head on over to the torpedo room.
Bye guys, enjoy dying in this timeline.
I mean, it's shitty, but we have the power to go back in time, and who knows? The more corpses we enter, for lack of a better term, we'll get 4 more minutes. So hopefully we can stack up a few hours somehow.
The more corpses we enter, the stronger we get.
Ah, unlimited power from Enterage!
He's unstoppable.
The only slight problem with that is I'm pretty sure that the location we're going to, aka where Jeld is at most going to have 3 corpses, and in all likelihood is probably only going to have 2, so probably not going to be able to fully stack up a ridiculous amount of hours out of our ghost tricks, but you never know.
Yeah.
There is the chance that other things might be able to occur. We just need to, you know, get there first. That's the important bit.
3 corpses? Nah, I don't get out of bed for less than 5 corpses.
Same. Where were we going with this? I think we may have just incriminated ourselves.
No, what you were doing was you were building up to a Kid Icarus Uprising reference and the mountain of corpses that a certain god of the underworld wants to create.
Ugh. The finale of that game is super hype. The rest of it isn't really worth the cost of entry. Honestly, I'm sorry. No, the controls bring that game down to like a 7 for me. It's aesthetically great, you know, visually beautiful for a 3DS game. Music's fantastic. The dialogue is okay, I guess. You know, it's take it or leave it, honestly. It's that brand of zany humour, which I don't really care for, but I've kind of lost where I was going with this train of thought, but if there's a sequel on the Switch or whatever, I'll play it.
Foul shout.
Yeah, I got a bit confused here. This is really the greatest puzzle in the game, just moving Sissel and Missile about.
Yeah, like, honestly, I have no idea quite how you had this much trouble with it, because all you need to do is switch those two, but you kept putting, like, Sissel and Missile in the way of each other, so they couldn't make the swap, and it was just like, what are you doing?
It's just a ghost boy and his ghost dog playing in their dead sub.
There you go. Well, okay, Mr. Throw Entom under the bus. I wasn't the one with the instruction manual or the guide, okay?
Excuse me, it was pretty clear what you did in this bit. It wasn't like earlier where, you know, it was just like, make it so that the fans go in size order, but not telling you where all the fans are. This was very much switch the levers and manipulate the left one.
Okay, Richie. Okay.
Doesn't matter what we do in this area anyways. Like we said, this is a dead-end timeline. We have all the time in the world to do whatever we want.
Yep, just gotta get on the torpedo, fire ourselves off to that place, and yeah, there's probably not gonna be much reaction time between us reaching it and us passing it, so it's a good job we can stop time, literally.
But I mean, the whole game has been that. Thank goodness we can stop time.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I would be hecka tired if I was Lynn right now. It is 5 in the morning. She has been up all day, dying, saving other people from dying, scaling a submarine wall while carrying a small child, later dying.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm surprised that Camilla's this awake as well, because, I mean, I know obviously she got kidnapped and everything, but she's only like 12, 13, like, Jesus wept, this is late for someone that young.
Well, adrenaline does strange things to the human body.
That's true.
Everyone's gonna need a lot of coffee with their fried chicken tomorrow.
Missile, heal! Convoy, yeah! Missile, why are you hesitating? What?
Bad boy. Bad, unloyal boy.
Worst boy, worst boy! Oh, don't tug at my heartstrings, just get on the torpedo!
Yeah, but he's too bloody loyal and he's too cute. It's just like, yeah.
But we need Missile.
Yeah, he's just too cute, and it's just like, you're doing a good thing by saying, but we need you, and we definitely need you because it's the only chance that we have of saving Lynn and Camilla. Because otherwise, you know, they're gonna die here no matter what.
Man, this would be the worst death for me. Because if the water pressure and the water doesn't get you, starvation and dehydration will.
Cabin fever. If we're ever trapped in a submarine and I go first, I give you guys permission to eat me.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm also good on that, thanks. Don't really intend ever in my life, no matter how awful the situation gets, to eat another human, because that's just disgusting.
Also, I'm not a fan of Mexican
Well, that's
food.
good, because I was planning to outlive either of you suckers anyways.
I'm glad you talked over that.
Get on the rocket, Missile! Why doesn't the Missile want to go on the torpedo? NSA.
It's okay. They're slowly working up to it. Screw your courage to the sticking place, Mr. Cute Doggo. Here we go. About fucking time. Alright, launch the torpedo!
I feel like that scene would have been a bit better if maybe they had slowed the music down, because, like, it really did just come to a halt there for an emotional scene. Having the throbbing music, it was like, okay, we gotta go. It's like, but the plot has already intentionally come to a stop for an emotional heartbeat. Like, I feel the music should have went with it to that stop.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose in a way that's probably one of the flaws that quite a lot of DS games have, because while the system was certainly very impressive at the time that it came out, in terms of what it was capable of doing, in terms of having two screens for a portable, musically it was never that impressive in the grand scheme of things, so it might have just been that they didn't have, because they'd shoved their efforts into other areas, they hadn't quite worked out the best way of doing the audio in the game to get it to do that sort of stuff, but that's really just magicking up an excuse out of nowhere.
I was gonna say, ha! He scoffed while playing The World Ends With You on his Nintendo DS.
There you go. Well, you know, Capcom is not Square Enix, no matter how hard they try, let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I think it's more just that there's a lack of song selection, so there really is just the tense song, the sad song, the happy song, as opposed to actual, like, scene-specific songs.
Yeah, that would also be a very accurate thing.
We have but a matter of moments to transfer from the torpedo into the discarded room. Can't really think of a better way to describe it. Death chamber? Well, it's going to be a death chamber soon.
It is a
But,
death chamber.
Yes, thank you. Let's see what's waiting for us over there. Oh my god, are we too late?
Yeah, I mean, I did tell you that we were going to see at least 2 dead bodies probably by the time we got here, and I certainly was not wrong.
He seems pretty calm to say he's gonna, like, slowly die of, like, water pressure soon, that big burly dude on the right.
He's a henchman who takes his job very seriously. It's very hard to find nowadays in today's henchman market. Everyone just wants their vacation time, their family time. Ugh.
Right, let's have a chat with Jard. Oh my god. That other dude had a core. Well, we'll come back to that. We need to talk to Jard for now.
I'm surprised the entire town doesn't have cores after this night.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we have saved quite a lot of people from dying, so probably the majority of the people that have been running about tonight do probably have calls by now.
I know, I could count, like, the number of people on 2 hands.
I told everything. Thank you. Cutting to the chase. I like it. Especially now, at this the most crucial of times.
See, if this was back during Chapter 8, we would have had to read all the dialogue of him recapping everything.
Yeah.
But see, now we've got, like, some plot pace going, you know, some momentum. We don't got time for that shit. We just rode a missile. Twice.
Also, I didn't see a third spot, so how the hell did you get along with us on that torpedo? Wait a minute. No, Richie, there's no time for your words. Yomi! That's his name.
Once again, this game really does seem to like having slightly strange names, doesn't it?
I get Yomiel. Pretty much any word that ends in L is going to be the name of an angel, just because all angel names in the Bible are essentially blank of God, so like wrath of God, love of God, so their names are literally whatever, something L, Michael, Uriel, so I guess Yomiel is Day of God.
Yeah, Yomiel was the 19th Watcher of the 20 leaders of the 200 fallen angels that are mentioned in an ancient work called the Book of Enoch, and Michael Nib translates the Ethiopic version of his name as Day of God.
So he's not even just one of the regular angels, he's one of the Book of Enoch angels, which, you know, are kind of... Well, if you've played Persona 5, you know that those are the naughty angels.
Oh, well, that fits in perfectly. Then, and Sissel was just an alias he was using, so I guess we'll eventually find out what the name Sissel means. But Yomi was a systems engineer, which, as you can imagine, would probably be very, very profitable for an outside, like, entity, especially a foreign one.
And also, before we get too far off the point of Yumiel's name, it's also a play on the word Yomigeru, which is the Japanese word for revival, which is very fitting for Yumiel himself.
I feel like that's a bit more on the nose than the angel name.
Yeah. This works for the Western translation. The other one works for the Eastern. So, it's almost like we're doing Akami again, Richard.
I know! And I have to say, I'm still very excited about the fact that Okami HD is coming to PS4 in December as of this commentary, and just like, oh, I can't wait to play it again.
I might actually get that for Christmas, or maybe with my January payments, so, yeah.
Yes, for the love of God, get it and play it, it's beautiful.
After I'm finished with Doom on stream, I was going to do God of War, but I may do an Okami stream. I haven't decided yet.
Do it!
Porque no los dos.
Oh dear. Got yourself in a bit of a pickle, did you, Emil?
Just wait till you hear what's happened to your daughter, dude.
Also, I did mention a few parts back that I liked how they presented the kidnapper in the flashback, because if you'll notice, they didn't show Emil's hair. Like, the top of his head was obscured, so it could have been anyone, but it wasn't anyone. It was not Sissel.
I also feel like if you squinted hard enough, you could kind of tell too, just because his body frame is pretty unique. Like, he's a lot more slender than the other characters, so if you like took the time and like just really analyzed it, like, it's one of those mysteries that you can solve ahead of time, so those are nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those ones where the game sort of sets it up that it is actually painfully obvious that the man who kidnapped Lynn in the park was Sissel / not Sissel / Yomiel. But it does just it just leaves it that long, and because you have obviously the body type, there's only one character who makes the links through and really the character of Sissel's the only one who doesn't seem to fit anywhere, and that sort of makes sense of how it fits into the whole thing. That explanation kind of made no sense, but anyway.
No, it fits because it's exactly what Yamila's talking about here. Like, he didn't fit in anywhere after he died. He was just basically a mean spirit wandering through the world.
That's the curse of the undead, really. Y'all want immortality, but you don't understand the consequences of being immortal.
Yeah, and that's why in The Lord of the Rings they called it the gift of man, being able to die, because you can give it back and boom, you're dead, and you can be at peace. Aww. This is where, in any other game, you'd probably start to roll your eyes, like how they're trying to make the villain sympathetic at the last moment. But here I think it actually really works, because they do make him very sympathetic, and it's very believable.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that works so well about this is that Yomi has the face that we've been seeing throughout the entire game, so we're already sort of predisposed to feel sympathy towards this character, because this character has the face of the Sissel that we know and love. But also, the things that Yomi does throughout the game, you're kind of just like, what is this? Why is he doing this? And so when you finally get the answer to that, it ties everything together.
Yeah.
So he's not set up to be the truly villainous antagonist. That's clearly Sith and the Bluminati. Yomiel's just sort of an antagonistic force, but not the antagonist. And I think that's why he's able to have this sort of sympathetic air and sort of a bit of a redemption arc in a way, because obviously he rescues Lynn and Camilla from certain death to, you're still probably going to die anyway, but at least you're not going to drown here and now. You've got at least a bit of time together to relax before you pass away.
Yomiel was essentially manipulated as much as we were, so that's why you can kinda go along with him. I mean, you can't justify his actions, but, I mean, you see where it's coming from.
He's still gonna have to pay for his crimes if we ever come to a new, like, fresh and good beginning, but that's then, and we still have to deal with the consequences of where we are right now.
Before we arrive at Dawn of New Day.
Yep. The fourth day. Let's just hope it doesn't crash my recording software.
Oh.
Betrayal! Betrayal!
Yes, but why does the ventriloquist puppet, why does it want to marry the lion tamer chick? Answer the questions! You're under oath in a court of law.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, don't remind me of that case, for the love of God.
There you go, I was waiting for the agonizing cries. When in doubt, always throw in the circus case.
Oh, right. I must have blocked that completely out of my mind. I'm like Lynn. I can't remember 10 years ago at all.
That case is, yeah, it's definitely the weakest of the original trilogy. It's just,
I see. The police were on to, I guess, the blushing government. So, you know, they know about the manipulator. I guess they knew, like, what the I fucking saunter into scene and just completely ruin my flow. Yeah, they thought it was a bunch of bullshit at first. Haha, ghosts? Manipulation? But then they put the park under surveillance, so I guess there were like armed guards there at all times. This is probably one of my favourite jokes in the game coming up right here. Armed agents, they're there at all times. Wait for it. Even him?
What?
No. He's just kooky.
including appearing in other people's sort of flashbacks. So, yeah, he's just a weirdo. But I suppose he is kind of the prevailing memory that most people have of Temzik Park as that crazy guy.
The crazy guy lives there.
That's why they were planning to bulldoze the park, so they could get the Temzik meteorite, because obviously, I guess, you know, it's an international battleground, like they said. They couldn't get in and take the Temzik meteorite without being shot down, and I guess it was just a stalemate, really.
Basically, and them manipulating Yomi was their way out of that stalemate.
And I guess the fact that the park was under surveillance could go back to that plot point I mentioned of how weren't people dying near that Temzik stone more often. People just weren't going to the park, period.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other options left, Cecil. I mean, we'll bring him back to life, but he could just die, like, moments later. Like, I can give you a few options. The big dude could throttle him, the capsule could just explode, water pressure could crush it. Take your pick. I've got, like, at least one or two more.
The sun could rise.
But there's one other option that hasn't been necessarily discussed at this point, largely because it's probably not been thought of to be a potential possibility of what we could do, because may have perhaps noticed that Dr. Gerald is not the only corpse in the room.
Very good, very good.
And also, because obviously Detective Jazz not the only corpse in the room, we know that perhaps the other potential corpse is also a bit of a unique case.
Yeah, I guess so. But of course, you know, before we do anything, we have to watch Zhao die again. It's just not done otherwise.
You're not really dead until I've seen you die. I mean, I can see the corpse right there, but how do I really know? I'm gonna need some proof here.
Oh, big reveal! He was a robot the whole time.
Oh no, that this beloved and true character for the whole plot of the game that I'm emotionally attached to? It would have been cool if Blessy and Blames were like revealed to be robots. Like, that would freak me out. It's like, no way! They had so much personality. This guy, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. He's easily the weakest character. It's sort of annoying that he's actually the last of the Bluminati that we're ever gonna see, because he is sort of just such a nothingy character.
Well, the thing is, it adds an extra tragic layer to the scene, 'cause it's like, oh, at least Jowd won't die alone, and then, oh, there's only a robot in the room with him and another corpse, so, you know, he's surrounded by inanimation and death, so...
At least Lynn and Camilla have each other.
Exactly.
Their heads are probably exploding right about now.
Pop. Pop. Like little grapes.
Oh my god, really? Goodbye, detective. Dying with a dad joke. I am proud.
Good night, Babs.
Grrr. Jesus. No blood. You don't need it. It's fine.
Bad end.
The big masked man said, any possibility, no matter how small. So yeah, maybe we'll take Richie up on his theory and jump into another core. Go back to another time. Way before all of this happened and turn the situation around.
So we'll take a ghost trick, and we'll put it in a box, and then we'll put that box in another box, and put that box in a box, and mail it to myself. And then once I get it, I'll smash it with a hammer.
There it is.
Indeed. Because yes, obviously now that the Temsic fragment has been removed from Ymil's body, his core has been revealed.
Bada bing.
And obviously his corpse is an interesting case, because obviously he technically died about 10 years ago, so I wonder what would happen if we went into his corpse and turned back time there.
We'll be sent back to the totally rad 90s. I wonder how Yomi feels like I'm being saved by a blob. This is where my vengeance has led me to. I wanted to kill them all, and now the blob is here to save me.
My life has become Yokai Watch. I'm okay with that.
Nice.
Yep, body won't come back to life anymore. You've lost your reanimation powers. But, you know, since your body was technically stopped at the time of death, it means we can, you know, go back all that time because of it. And who knows, maybe we can stop everything from happening, every single tragic event, and completely erase this timeline and create a new, hopeful one.
Yes, it'd be pretty amazing if we can pull all that off, and to be fair, this is Ghost Trick, so we just got to rewind time and see where it leads.
I still feel that that clock looks like the clock from Persona Q, if any of you guys have played on the 3DS. Like, they basically ripped off the art style for that, and it's great.
I do like the little touch of the clock taking longer to spin backwards, you know, just emphasizing how far back into the past we're going. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. All that's left is the final chapter of Ghost Trick, and if you've never seen up to this point before, I would like to see how many of you can guess what's coming, because believe me, it is a little bit out of left field. The final journey to the truth starts now.